Good morning, this is X-Pulse AI Morning Mix. It's Thursday, May 7th, and we're digging into Anthropic's enormous Google Cloud commitment, NVIDIA's new U.S. optics push for data centers, and a few signals on how AI is colliding with healthcare practice and policy. I've got Orion with me. Ready?
Ready, let's jump in.
Lead story. Reuters on May 5th confirmed Anthropic is committing a staggering $200 billion to Google Cloud over 5 years. Orion, what exactly did they agree to?
It's essentially a long-term compute and cloud capacity lock-in. Anthropic commits to spend $200 billion with Google Cloud across 5 years. The information reported it, and Reuters confirmed. It signals Anthropic expects massive scale, and it gives Google Cloud a very sticky, very large anchor customer.
And Reuters also mentioned Alphabet might invest to $40 billion in Anthropic. How should we read that alongside the spend?
If that investment happens, it tightens the strategic loop. Google provides compute, chips, and capacity planning. Anthropic provides demand and a flagship AI workload. $200 billion. My budget just fainted. Practically, it's about securing supply in a world where GPUs and power are the real bottlenecks.
Does this change the competitive picture for other clouds?
It raises the bar. Long, prepaid-style commitments make it harder for rivals to win the next renewal cycle because the switching cost isn't just technical, it's contractual and capacity-based. And for Anthropic, it's a hedge against being compute-starved during big product moments.
Staying with infrastructure, NVIDIA's newsroom on May 6th says NVIDIA and Corning are partnering to expand US-based optical manufacturing for AI data centers. What's the big deal here?
Optics is the plumbing of modern AI clusters, fiber, transceivers, photonics, what lets thousands of GPUs act like one machine. NVIDIA and Corning announced a multi-year commercial and technology partnership to expand U.S. manufacturing capacity, and there are reports NVIDIA is putting significant investment behind that build-out.
Why focus on optics now, not just more GPUs?
Because the cluster is only as fast as the network between GPUs. As deployments scale, you hit bandwidth and latency walls, and optics becomes a gating factor, along with power and cooling. Also, building more domestic supply reduces risk. Fewer single points of failure in global logistics.
So this is about speed and resilience.
Exactly. Faster interconnect means better utilization, more useful work per expensive GPU hour, and resilient supply chains help hyperscalers and enterprises keep expansion plans on schedule. Fiber optics, the unsung hero with a very loud invoice.
Back to Anthropic, Reuters on May 6th reported Anthropic signed a compute and data center deal with SpaceX to ease capacity constraints. What do we know?
Reuters says Anthropic is adding SpaceX as a compute partner to expand capacity amid strong demand, especially for products like its coding tools. It's another sign that top labs are diversifying compute sources, not relying on just one cloud or one supplier footprint.
SpaceX isn't the first name people think of for enterprise compute. Why would this happen?
Because whoever can reliably deliver power, racks, and connectivity at scale becomes relevant. SpaceX has infrastructure ambitions and the ability to execute big, complex builds. For Anthropic, it's optionality, more capacity, potentially different geographies, and another line of supply in a crowded market.
Does this conflict with that massive Google Cloud commitment?
Not necessarily. Even with a primary cloud, you can supplement with specialized capacity, especially if demand spikes or certain workloads fit different setups. Think of it as belt and suspenders for compute. Expensive, but outages and bottlenecks are worse.
In healthcare practice, Globe Newswire on May 5th says the American Nurses Association released consensus guidance from its first AI in nursing practice think tank. What are they calling for?
They're pushing 5 near-term actions: nurse-led guardrails, a nursing AI playbook, better AI literacy, stronger policy advocacy, and cross-sector collaboration. The core message is governance shouldn't be bolted on after deployment. Clinical workflows need clinician-led oversight from the start.
What changes if nurses are truly in the loop on these tools?
You get better real-world safety checks, like how alerts affect workload, how documentation gets shaped, and where automation can quietly introduce risk. Nurses often see failure modes first because they live in the edge cases. Building guardrails with them improves adoption and reduces harm.
Is this mostly about training or about controls and accountability?
Both. Literacy helps people spot when an output is off. But the bigger piece is accountability. Who signs off, how models are monitored, and what escalation looks like when an AI recommendation clashes with clinical judgment.
Let's do a few quick hits, starting with markets. Reuters coverage carried by U.S. News on May 6th says AMD's strong outlook helped spark a broader chip stock rally. What's the signal?
Investors are treating AI infrastructure demand as durable, not a one-quarter blip. AMD's outlook pushed shares to record highs and lifted other semis too. It also hints buyers want diversified suppliers, GPUs, CPUs, networking memory, because AI data centers are a full-stack spending story.
On the product side, Anthropic is also chasing finance workflows. Investment News on May 5th said it rolled out 10 agent templates for financial services, plus a $1.5 billion arrangement with firms like Blackstone and Goldman. Real traction or marketing?
The templates, pitch books, credit memos, anti-money laundering workflows are aimed at regulated, high-value tasks. The $1.5 billion joint venture-style arrangement suggests serious experimentation budgets. The harder part will be governance, audit trails, and integration into existing risk controls.
Now a grab bag. Inc. on May 5th says NVIDIA and SPAN are piloting mini data center nodes for homes and small businesses. Design News the same day flagged new power and cooling designs like 800-volt direct current and liquid cooling. And MedPage Today on May 6th says Character.AI was sued over chatbots allegedly posing as licensed doctors.
All three point to constraints and consequences. Distributed nodes are an attempt to find new capacity and power, still early. The engineering shifts show the industry retooling the physical stack for extreme loads. And the lawsuit underscores a simple rule. If a chatbot drifts into medical authority, regulators and courts will notice.
Finally, money and policy. Crunchbase News on May 5th says Blitzy raised $200 million at a $1.4 billion valuation, and global venture funding hit $56 billion in April. KFF on May 6th examined consumer protections for AI in claims and prior authorization. And Wenwai on May 6th says a Pennsylvania committee advanced a bill requiring patient notice and bias mitigation.
Blitzy is pitching autonomous software development for enterprises. Big checks are still flowing to make work faster tools. But the funding data suggests concentration. A few giant rounds buoy totals. Meanwhile, healthcare policy is tightening around transparency, appeals, and bias. Because once AI touches coverage decisions, people demand receipts.
That's Xpulse AI Morning Mix from Xpulse for Thursday, May 7th. Share it with someone who'd find it useful. See you next time.